Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, October 21st, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Memphis Grizzlies vs Houston Rockets. The Grizzlies got off to a good start after defeating the Knicks in overtime to pick up their first victory of the season. They will try to keep the momentum going with a win over the Rockets, which will give them their second win in a row and first road win of the season. Memphis scored 115 points in its first game. They made 38.9% of their field goals and 34% of their three-pointers. Ja Morant led the Grizzlies with 34 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Santi Aldama finished with 18 points and 11 rebounds, while Desmond Bane finished with 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks, Danny Green, and Zaire Williams missed the team's home opener. They are listed as questionable for this game. Memphis struggled defensively in their first game, giving up 112 points in the win. They will need to do a better job if they want to get the win. The Rockets couldn't get past the Hawks in their first game, losing a 10-point game on the road. They will try to bounce back from the loss with a win over the Grizzlies, which will give them their first win of the season. Houston scored 107 points in its first game. They made 42.9% of their field goals and 25.7% of their three-pointers. Kevin Porter Jr. led the Rockets with 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Jabari Smith Jr. had 17 points and 7 rebounds in his first game as a pro, while Jalen Green finished with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Houston struggled defensively in its first game, giving up 117 points in the loss. They will need an improved performance if they want to win this game. The Grizzlies played well offensively in their first game. Even though they didn't shoot the ball well from the field, they were very aggressive on the offensive glass, grabbing 20 offensive rebounds, which led to many second-chance scoring opportunities. They did a good job moving the ball around and didn't turn the ball over a lot. The Rockets didn't play well defensively against the Hawks, allowing Atlanta to shoot 50% from the field. They didn't force a lot of turnovers and had only 3 blocks in the game. Even though they rebounded the ball well, they won't be able to outmuscle the Grizzlies in the paint and don't have an answer for Morant, who picked up where he left off last season, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Grizzlies in this game. The Rockets also struggled defensively, scoring only 107 points in their opener. They didn't shoot the ball well from the field or three-point range, and they were very careless with the ball. Even though the Grizzlies gave up 112 points in their last game, they will keep Houston's offense in check, so go with Memphis to cover the spread. Our team pick is Memphis Grizzlies for the win. In the last 10 games head-to-head the under has hit 6 times, but in those specific matchups, the total score has eclipsed 235 times with 2 pushes. Memphis tends to put up big numbers in this head-to-head, averaging 122.7 points over the last 6 versus the Rockets. Houston will need to just clear the century mark by a few, and the Grizz can handle the rest. Our total pick is over 230 points. Phoenix Suns vs Portland Trail Blazers. The Phoenix Suns started their 2022-23 campaign with a 107-105 home win against the Dallas Mavericks. They failed to cover a 4-point spread, but the Suns rallied from 22 points down to outlast the Mavs in thrilling fashion. The Suns took a 1-point lead with 3:10 left on the clock in the fourth quarter, while Damian Lee hit a winning jumper over Spencer Dinwiddie with 9.7 seconds left. Chris Paul watched a final 6:41 from the bench as Cameron Payne played an important role down the stretch, finishing with a +15 net rating in 19 minutes on the floor. The Portland Trail Blazers opened 2022-23 with a 115-108 road victory over the Sacramento Kings, upsetting the odds as 3-point underdogs. It was a back-and-forth battle down the stretch, and the Trail Blazers pulled off in the final minute thanks to Jerami Grant and Josh Hart. Grant, who joined Portland via trade from Detroit in the offseason, finished with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and a pair of steals, while Hart added 19 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists. The Trailblazers did a good job on the glass against the Kings, but their defense didn't look as sharp as you might think. Sacramento made 17 triples and dished out 27 assists, so I'm backing the Suns to take full advantage of Portland's defensive flaws and win this game. Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, who had 22 points against the Kings, will both struggle to cope with the Suns' backcourt on both sides of the ball, while DeAndre Ayton should dominate in the paint. Our team pick is the Phoenix Suns -4 points. The Suns have a solid and young team, and they need to forget about last season when they were ousted in the first round after having the best record in the NBA. Paul is a 12-time All-Star that still has game but has to stay healthy, which he is now. Booker made his first All-Pro team last season and was signed to a huge contract, as was Ayton, who needs to step up and get to All-Star level. Last season, after getting blown out in their third game facing the Blazers, they beat them in the next 3 games. Phoenix was the 5th highest scoring team in the NBA last season, and they will face a Portland team that ranked 4th to last in the league in points allowed per game. Lillard averaged 24 PPG last season, and he needs to shoot the rock much better in this game. Portland looks to be a high-scoring team, but they still have concerns on defense. Jusuf Nurkic, who had 8 points and 7 boards in the season opener, was re-signed in the off-season, and his play in the paint facing Ayton will be key. Grant led the team in scoring in the first game, and while his scoring will be needed, his defense may be more important against the high-scoring Suns. Not too hard to see why I am picking the over in this game. Phoenix was one of the highest-scoring teams in the league last season, while the Blazers were one of the worst defensive teams. The Suns will score big in this game and shoot the rock well. The Blazers are always tough to beat at home, and Lillard will rebound and have a solid game, and Portland will score big in front of their crowd. This game will be far from a defensive one, as both teams will score big, which is why the over is the pick. Our total pick is over 224.5 points. Denver Nuggets vs Golden State Warriors. The Denver Nuggets visited the rebuilding Utah Jazz at the start of the 2022-23 season. Playing as firm 7-point favorites, the Nuggets suffered an ugly 123-102 defeat. It was a disastrous defensive performance, as Utah shot 50.6% from the field and 42.1% from beyond the arc, while handing out 27 assists. On the other side, the Nuggets made 48.2% of their field goals and just 22.7% of their three-pointers, finishing with 21 assists and a whopping 21 turnovers. The Golden State Warriors put on a show for their fans on the opening night, defeating LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers 123-109 as 7.5-point home favorites. After receiving their championship rings in the pre-game ceremony, the Dubs dominated their divisional rivals, and Steph Curry led the way with 33 points, 7 assists, 6 boards, and 4 steals. The Warriors played well on both sides of the ball last Tuesday. Their defense was sharp, though the Dubs turned the ball over 18 times. It's the first week of the season, and everybody needs time to gel things, but the Nuggets might struggle a lot early because of Jamal Murray's and Michael Porter's return from injuries. Denver also has a few new faces on their roster, so I'm backing the Warriors to stay on the winning path and cover in front of the home fans. Our team pick is Golden State Warriors -5 points. The Denver Nuggets gave up 123 points in their opening night loss to a Utah Jazz team that looks vastly different from last season's roster. Denver has been picked for a title contender, while Utah is under a complete rebuild after trading away Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Denver fell behind by 22 points at halftime, and although the Nuggets looked better in the second half, they still lost by 21. The Golden State Warriors roster looks vastly similar to last season, and the result was the same as the Warriors opened their NBA title defense with a victory on Tuesday over the Los Angeles Lakers. After a pre-game celebration of their NBA championship, the Warriors led by Stephen Curry, who scored 33 points, easily disposed of the Los Angeles Lakers, breaking open the game with a 32-19 third quarter. Klay Thompson scored 18 points in only 20 minutes for Golden State. The defense for Golden State is very strong, but when the Warriors play the Nuggets, the odds are better the total will finish over. The total has finished over in 4 of Golden State's last 5 versus Denver, and the total has finished over in 4 of Golden State's last 5 games against a team from the Northwest Division. Golden State scored 123 points in its opening night victory over Los Angeles, and the Nuggets gave up 123 points in their opening night loss to Utah. Our total pick is over 229.5 points.